All right, so now we're in Chapter 10. Chapter 10 is all about statistics, and this is the first lesson called Making Predictions. So, three vocab words for us: survey, population, and sample. A survey you're probably familiar with. This is a set of questions used to learn something about a group of people. You've probably taken surveys before, maybe online, maybe in person. Population is the large group of people we wish to learn something about. So maybe it's the entire seventh grade, maybe it's the whole middle school, maybe it's all the people that live in Schuylkill Haven. Population is a large group of people that we want to make predictions about based on our surveys. The sample is the group of people that actually take the survey. So this is a smaller group within the population or a subgroup of the population that are chosen to take the survey. And we want to be very careful when we choose a sample so that our sample does represent our population. So here's our first example. Jessica created a survey because she wants to know how all of the students in her grade feel about school uniforms. She decides to survey every fifth student who walks into the cafeteria during lunch. I'd like you to pause the video and try to determine what the topic of the survey is, what's the population, and what's the sample. Pause it, and then I'll give you the answers. Okay, so you have unpaused the video. If you go through this, the topic is school uniforms, the population, that's all the students in Jessica's grade. Now, at Schuylkill Haven, if we're talking about all the students in a grade, it's usually around 100 students. It would take a long time to survey 100 students, so Jessica decided to choose a sample of students to survey. And her sample is every fifth student who walks into the cafeteria during lunch. Another thing we can do with statistics is we can make predictions based on the data we've collected. So here's number 3 from your notes. It says, Mrs. Shuck surveys 27th grade students to find their favorite snack. She organized her survey in the table below. So 4 students chose Pringles, 6 chose Cheez-Its, 10 chose Doritos. And we know the total is 20 students. So the first question we are going to do together. The rest you can do on your own. If there are 90 students in the grade, predict the number of students who would choose Doritos as their favorite snack. So statistics and probability are closely related. So in order for me to make predictions based on my statistics, what I want to do is I want to first find the probability of a student who would choose Doritos as their favorite snack. So let's talk about probability. Remember, probability is it's all my outcomes in the denominator and my favorable outcomes in the numerator. So going from my chart, the total number of outcomes is 20, so that's my denominator. And I want my favorable outcomes in the numerator, which is the Doritos choosing students. So that's 10. So the probability that a student would pick Doritos is 10/20ths. And you know me, I want to simplify this. So 10/20ths simplifies to 1/2. That's the probability that a student will choose Doritos. So if I want to make a prediction about my population, that means half of those students should choose Doritos. Half of those students. Remember what of means. Of is a math word. Of means multiplication. So what I want to do here is take my probability fraction and multiply it by the number of students in my population. That's how I make the prediction. So 1/2 of 90. Most of you probably know this mentally, but we'll do the math just in case. We can simplify by 2 here. 90 divided by 2 is 45. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And now I can multiply straight across. 1 times 45 is 45. 1 times 1 is 1. And we do not write a denominator of 1. Okay, so that would tell me, based on the data that I collected, I predict that 45 students would choose Doritos as their favorite snack. So predicting with predicting with statistics, first we have to find the probability and then multiply it by the number of people in our population. Okay, That's all for this video. You should be able to finish up all the other questions in this lesson based on the information in this video.